IU has now made changes to her song with BTS's V following the queerbaiting accusations. A lot of people were excited when it was announced that IU would be working with V on her upcoming album. However, when the actual track title, Love Wins, was released, some criticized that using that specific phrase for what they assume is going to be a general heterosexual story might dilute the meaning, as it's often used for sexual minorities with the message of love triumphing over all. Some defended it as a phrase for all kinds of love, while others went as far as accusing IU of utilizing the title as quote queerbait just to promote her song despite its meaning and associations. Well, it now looks like the criticisms were heard, as IU's agency updated fans, saying they will now be changing the song's title to Love Wins All to respect and support everyone who loves in their various ways, and that they accept the opinions and those who express concerns that precious message might have been blurred with the previous title. Red Velvet's Joy has also seemingly addressed the accusations thrown her way. It looks like Joy has been dealing with all kinds of assumptions and rumors lately, from people speculating about her relationship to talking about her weight, and now, just because of one appearance, she's currently dealing with allegations of plastic surgery. And we definitely know she's aware of them, because recently on her bubble, Joy expressed how happy she was to be able to meet fans that day, even for a short time, and then said it's not worth responding to people who only see one side of the story and say whatever they want when they don't know anything about me. She then goes on to talk about her plans for the upcoming year and tells fans not to let the nonsense fool them. In the case of IVE's Wonyoung, the rumors and assumptions made about her got so out of hand, she personally sued. And now Starship has announced that Wonyoung has won her civil lawsuit against former YouTube channel SOJANG. If you remember, SOJANG is the infamous channel that spread rumors about everybody. We even learned from Wonyoung's case that they may have even hired people part-time to post malicious comments. It got to the point where even BTS's V said he was going to sue on behalf of all idols and celebrities that have been affected. Starship played a big part as to why SOJANG finally shut their channel down last year, and now the court has ordered them to pay almost $75,000 with a 12% annual interest rate until it's all paid. But while everyone is celebrating that victory, many are upset that APINK EUNJI's STALKER is getting away with no prison time. A 59-year-old woman was charged after it was found that she stalked EUNJI for 3 years, sending packages to her home, followed EUNJI to her hair and makeup shop, sent countless messages on various platforms, which ultimately led to EUNJI shutting down her bubble, and at one point begged EUNJI to take her in as a maid. The Seoul Central District Court noted that the defendant denied all charges, showing no signs of remorse, which were then proved against her. Despite sentencing the stalker to 1 year in prison and her side appealing, it looks like it'll be deferred by a probation period of 2 years, a fine of under $100, required community service, and educational courses. Speaking of idols with previous connections to Cube Entertainment, of course Hyuna and Jun Hyung caused a huge stir yesterday when they both posted this photo together. With the photo, the comment along the lines of "please look after us" seemed to heavily imply that the two were dating. This wouldn't be out of nowhere, so to speak, as the two have known each other for a very long time, notably during their 4-Minute and Beast days. People then discovered a post from November of last year implying the two visited a restaurant together. But the general sentiment around the alleged relationship doesn't seem to be very positive, especially with the image and message that Hyuna has built her career on, and Jun Hyung's connection to the Burning Sun scandal. They've probably seen all the negative reactions, as her "please look after us" comment has now been removed, and both agencies refuse to confirm because it's their private lives. Finally, let's talk about the final 8 members of the survival show Universe Ticket, who will now go on to debut as UNIS. Usually, I would put something like this in the section of the video where we celebrate, but while there are definitely things fans are excited about, like having 3 Filipina members, including Signature's Belle, who is half Korean, half Filipina, many are quite concerned for the group regarding the age of the members. We just mentioned Belle, who is about 22 years old, who is actually the only adult in the group. The second oldest is about 16 16 or 17, and the youngest, Sowon, is 12. To put it in perspective, in this clip, Sowon is singing Boa's Atlantis Princess, whose record, if you want to call it that, she just passed, becoming the youngest idol to debut in well over a decade. She's actually already technically made her debut as a soloist in 2021 when she was 9 years old. Again, while fans want the best for the group, when you look at the stories we've already talked about in this video alone, it's hard not to be concerned for the young girl's physical and mental well-being going forward. With all of that out of the way, let's get on to those positive things that we can celebrate in K-pop. Congrats to RIIZE, achieving their first ever career music show win with Love 119. Speaking of SM boy groups, the final NCT unit and members have officially announced their name and will debut as NCT Wish. But while we wait for their debut, we've had plenty of comebacks and releases since the last video, including the debut of soloist GYUBIN with the fantastic song Really Like You. MAMAMOO Solar has put out a remake track, Groovy Room's new song featuring SSERAFIM's UNJI and Crush, High Key, and of course the collaboration between IVE and SAWEETIE. The new playlist is linked below, and some songs could be missing if not available on Spotify. Congrats to ATEEZ making history alongside SSERAFIM and The Rose, who were all just announced for this year's Coachella, and P1 Harmony will make history at New York's prestigious Governor's Ball, which aespa performed at last year, but we'll talk more about all of this as they get closer. And finally, it's really hard to keep it fair for all artists and keep track of everybody's anniversary, but I do want to highlight a really heartwarming moment when Bam Bam and Jackson just reunited during GOT7's 10th anniversary.
Today is our 10 years.
10 years, man.
Oh,
I've been engaged for 10 years.
Yeah.
Insane.
Engaged for 10 years, bro.
I'm 30 this year.
For our 10 years. Oh, you want to do this? Yes.